Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the S&P here. And as you know, you may know with the SP 500 we've got two counts. We've got this bearish count here, which is a corrective count in terms of wave 3 here, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here for wave 4, and we're looking for a move down through here. So we need a strategy for this, but we also need a strategy for our long bullish count as well. So our bullish count, where are we here? In here. So our bullish count has wave 3 over here, an A and a B and a C and a D and an E here, an Elliott wave triangle for intermediate wave 4, and then in this case here we're looking to move to the upside in terms of up for 1, back for 2, and then minor wave 2. We're looking for 5 waves in minor wave 3 coming up here, so it will be minute degree 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and so on. So in this instance here we've got this bullish count from the low of wave 1 here to the top here. The 61.8% retracement level is on this line here at the 2720 area here, and that's what we can look for in the bullish count, and also the bearish count too. We would expect that to come down lower as well, so we need a strategy for that. So we need one for going long and we need one for going short. So the other point here to be made is that I might just go into the 2-hour chart here for this bullish count. So for this bullish count here, it's possible to have this here as an A and a B and a C wave here at the 50% mark here. Okay. So it's in this case, it's possible this is where the strategy comes in now. So what we're talking about from here on in is really about when to go long and when to go short. Okay, so in this case here, it's possible to have this here as wave 1 and wave 2 here, and if I could borrow one of these here, wave 1 here and wave 2. Whoops a daisy, am I copying? No, moving. So moving up here in terms of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and moving up through here. I don't know if that's the case because the move down through here appears to be in 5 waves, so it looks more bearish. But at the same token, this would be our long trade up here, but now we can move that down to the next high here. And one of the reasons for that, I'll just save that, and I'll just leave that one like that on the 2-hour chart so we come back to it. But at the same token as well, just while we're here, if this low here becomes the resistance, then we need to be on the short side here, because then that breaches it. We'll look at that on the 1-hour chart here. So in this case here, we're still on the bullish count here. Just let me sort of get all this into perspective here. So wave 1 up here, and we can look at, we know this can be an A and a B and a C in here. We can know this can be wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and move up from that point. And of course this move down through here, it's moved back up. Its 50-60% retracement level is in this box, so where it's come to, which is good. So we could grab that and we can put that there to go long on. I wouldn't overdo it going long here, by the by. Really, the long trade should be on this number here, the 2772, as a tested support. Okay, but we'll put that there for the time being. If this count is right, we know that the move down here is a corrective move. So we know that the whole move down is a bullish corrective pattern. So we want to be buying new highs at some point, and it may drop lower, and we'll buy new highs lower in that case. But in this instance here, what we can be looking at here as count as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves down for wave 3 here, and wave 4 and wave 5 here. Okay, so that can bring us into this space here. So yeah, we need to be short. So in that case here, this is why we can take this low here. And when I say this low here, what I'm really trying to say is we know that if the market comes down and hits this low here, it's going to bounce back up. So in this case here, if the market moves down, which it has done to here, then we're going to get some small bounce. We may get a bounce back up. When it runs out of steam, then it's going to come down. It's going to bounce off that again, but I won't draw that in. And eventually it's going to make a move lower. Once it makes a move lower, then it's going to go back and retest supply. And when I say supply, the psychology will be the closest largest number, and obviously the 50 here, and all the orders will stack up to there. If you're trading futures, well then that move up there will be on lower volume than the move down, and that tells you, because that's on lower volume moving up from that trend there, then you'll know that it's just a correction, because corrections are on lower volume, and then down from that point. So it would make this and it's just it just makes it a little bit safer if you work the retest, because you got your low, retest, and then it breaches the low, so you have it 1 point below this, and if you've got a big number there, like say 40, say that's 45 there, or 48, then put another little level in there at the 48. Okay, because I mean you got the Fibonacci numbers between 40 and 50, so you got 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8. So 5 and 8 are the numbers that you would work with in that space, on that micro level in there. So, and taking this short here too also brings us in line with, I'm just going to save that. It also brings us in line with that bearish count on the, do I have it on the 4 hour? I'm not sure what I've got on the 4 hour. 4 hours just open, well, still bearish count, but I don't think this is the case, because the move down through, let's go back to this daily chart here. I don't think this is the case, because the move down through here is corrective, so we can pretty much rule this count out. But I just like to see it a little bit further. I'd like to see it further. I want to see that long trade kick in before that, but we can pretty much sort of wipe this off here now. So I'll just put these over here so we can prepare to change this here for next time, but I'll work on that, so that's okay. The NASDAQ, and this is another point too that makes it a bit sort of more bullish as well. So if I come back to the 2 hour chart here just for a moment, so this move here on the NASDAQ that moved up, and here, that made a new high above here. So if I can just bring the 1 hour chart across, which is quite similar to the 2 hour chart, we can see here the move up here has made a new high up here, but I can only count it in 3 waves, as an A and a B and a C, so a 5, 3, 5 structure, and that's the same for the physical market. And when we were looking at this last time, we knew that we had wave 1 here and wave 2 and wave 3, so we're looking for wave 4 to pull back. So it's done that, and then it's dropped down nicely, so I can just remove that here now. So in this case here, what do I have over here? Oh, yes, good. So in this case here, we can look at being long. So we could look at this point here, above wave 4. So that would bring us into this number here, wouldn't it? So, I mean, always when you're looking at, I'll just get that there. So always when you're looking at old highs and lows and so on, always gravitate over to the closest largest number, so whole numbers, even numbers, and lastly sort of odd numbers, because that's where the orders are going to be stacking up, isn't it? And once you understand, and you need to understand something, you need realization, and you need observation, and you need to prove it to yourself. But basically 1 is the strongest number, then 5, then 8, then 3. And once you sort of start to see this, you'll start to see, well, just basically if you've got access to a market depth, then you'll see how orders stack up around certain numbers. And people would think of 10 more than 9, so to speak, or 11, they'll think of 10 more than 11. So some numbers are more important than other numbers. And once you start focusing in on that, you start to learn this whole other world in there, and you can really see that it is a numbers game in terms of creating pattern and movement and geometry and so on. So look, anyway, apart from the waffle, from wave one here, we're pretty sure that this is an A and a B and a C. So we knew that this was corrective in the NASDAQ and also in the S&P. The move up here is in 3 waves, so it's giving us a real sort of flat correction or possible expanded flat. We just really need to look on the long side now. So on the long side, we could, this would be a safe one here, but you could also, I'll just copy this and I'll put that here. I'll just make that a little bit, oops, wrong one. This one here is going to be more dangerous. So you just really want to, oh, not really having much luck there. And now it's copying everything I do. There we go, I'll get on top of the situation. Okay, so I just put a thinner line there just to, so it's okay to trade that above that. We won't look for a short trade, but if you're looking for a short trade, you need to take out this low here. But this is 7,200. The 72 number here is it's part of the nine series of numbers. But that's something else. But this 72, if you know me and you know the trading levels, you know that I really like this number a lot. And yeah, we really want support on that. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. The other thing I want to talk about quickly is some of the stocks within this sector. I think last week we talked about Tesla, and we know that we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, or even back for 1 and 2 here again. So in this case here, we're looking for, this is a daily chart, sorry. So we were looking for Tesla to come back to the 38.2% retracement level at 334 area here. Once again, if we gravitate, so we're at the 38.2% retracement level here. I'll just close that off here. That 300 area here is actually a major trading level, so we'll put that in orange. And then we have our minor levels moving up here. So we have 10, 20 and 30. I just want to put the 30 in here, just roughly, if I can get it there somewhere. That's close enough for 30. So we know that the 334 is the 38.2% retracement level, but if I use the trading levels and gravitate to the closest largest number, well then it's the 330 in here, okay? So I would expect to bounce off the 330. We are long in here. We've taken profit in amongst here, and once this finishes its turn here, then we will look to go long, build back into this trade for the next structure to the upside. If I just go in here and have a look at the tick chart in here, this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave coming into its end here, and we're looking at, I mean, there'll be a lot of other stocks like this too in this space, so we need to look at that. So I don't see any evidence of an uptrend here so far. So what we would need to see, I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, so I'll draw on here. So once this does land through here, then we want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to move up, and then we'll look for the retracement back again, and then we'll start building to the upside in here, okay? So not quite there just yet, but this particular wave 4 here, other markets are doing it, and they're doing it in their own way, and they'll all be uniquely different, like all us human beings are. We're all the same, but we're all different. So this is ETSY here on a daily chart, and we're long in this as well. We're fortunate to get the gap in this one, so we're looking sweet here. So this is in a little wave 4 too. It's not finished. And Amazon will be in the same thing as well. Amazon's, I think it's bigger than Google now in terms of revenue, isn't it? I don't know, but I'm just a pattern man, not I don't know much else. So So we're in here. So we're looking for this wave 4 to finish here, and obviously 1700 area here. We're good, but there's no evidence of a move up just yet. So we want to get that first move up and then the pullback, and then we'll move into that, you know. And one of my favorites on Twitter, we've got this wave 4 pullback. So this move up here, it can still move down a bit more, but you can see that it's sort of done a lot of its work here as well. I won't go into this, it's not the time to do it, but it's doing its wave 4 here. This is a daily chart, so eventually it may move back here. I need to double check that, but 50 is the target to exit that trade there. All right, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Cheers.